Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, coming here live for another love circle. And today we are talking about depression. I I titled it Delusional Depression because I want to help all of us see how it can be so delusional and it's not. It feels very real, it's not real, and it's very easy to come out of it. So that is my goal with this conversation, so we can talk about that, so you all can learn. If you are struggling with depression, if you have struggled in the past, if you know somebody who's been struggling with depression, you can help them, you can understand them better, and that's how you can support each other so much better. So let's get into uh, the points we're going to be talking about. So, as most of you know who've been joining us live, that I like to go step by step into what is it, um, where and when and how it starts, and how it's impacting your life, or how it can impact your life and your health, and how you can get out of it. I'll be sharing like very easy to follow steps that you can do right now in your today to start pulling yourself out of that darkness. It's not hard, it's easy. We just need to be willing to come out of it, and then it becomes even easier. So let's get into it. What is depression? So I remember when I first started learning about it, I didn't even know, like, is it really depression? Like, what is this feeling? I didn't even know what it is. But it starts with feeling very low, losing interest in things that you used to enjoy. It can happen over time, gradually. It can happen after a sudden change in your life. It could be like, losing a loved one. It could be after divorce. It could be after losing your job. Like any big changes that happen in your life that can really, rattle your foundation, can take you into depression or feeling a bit depressed all the time. So that is the feeling part. Physically, you could feel tired to no interest in life. The last, I will say, major episode of depression I experienced was early last year in 2021, in month of March. I just couldn't even get out of bed. Now I'm a mom. I have to get out of bed. I have to feed my kid. But that's how it felt. Like I could sleep all day. I was dragging myself. Now I was getting support, fully supported, still fully supported. So I knew what's going on. But just sharing with you guys, if you have hard time even getting out of bed, even doing the things, day-to-day things, it could be that you are dealing with depression and you do need help. Don't try to do it yourself. Please, please don't try to do it yourself. You can always reach out to me. You can always have a conversation with me. You don't have to be my client in order to have a conversation with me. If you're experiencing any of these symptoms, please reach out. If not me, to anybody, to somebody. And don't go to someone who's like your friend, your sister, and they're the person you go to. No, reach out to a professional, an expert who can help you. Your family and friends are not equipped to help you. They can listen to you, they can validate your feeling, but they can't really help you, even though you feel like they can help you. Just really want to emphasize that. Now, another thing I want to share here is energetically. So I'm also a panic healer. I work on energy body as well. Energetically, what's going on? It's very important we understand our energy body as much as we understand our psychology and we understand our physical body. Your energy body, it is kind of like, the easiest way I can help you understand is like, in a low vibration. Like, everything is slow because the flow of energy is not good. Because something got stuck inside. Think of it like a motor. If there is a motor, electric motor, it's moving, and then you stick, put a stick in there. Now it's stuck. It's trying to move, but it can't really move. So that is what's going on in your energy body. There's not a good flow of energy. When there's not a good flow of life force, you feel like you cannot do anything. You don't feel even alive. You're like, I'm dragging myself. All it is, something, some incident, some energy body, and now there's not a good flow of energy. That's all it is. But it impacts your physical body. It impacts the way you think. Another thing, which might be a little bit advanced for some of you, but I'm still going to share it here with you. When we are in that low vibration, in terms of like how our energy is, there are other elements in our surrounding that feed off of that low energy. So we start attracting those elements around us. Now, I'm not talking about ghosts, I'm not talking about spirits, I'm not talking about other forms of life. I am just talking about energetical elements that are invisible, that are around us, but they feed off of low energy. So this is what can happen. A person who's feeling depressed, they are going to just think about negative thoughts. They are going to think about negative case scenario. They have very hard time even forcing themselves to think about positive things, to think about positive case scenario, because it's like, you're plugged into negativity. No one has to come in and share a bad news with you. Once you are there, you're attracting more and more of those elements, and they are kind of like getting stuck onto your energy. They're sucking whatever little life forces left in your energy body, and you're feeling down, 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 down. It's very important we understand that when we are going down, somebody else is getting benefit that's invisible to you. And that's why it's important for us to force ourselves to stand, to get support to stand, to understand what got stuck in my energy body that even is making me feel that way. And today conversation, we're gonna talk about it. I want you to understand your own feeling of depression so well, so you can help yourself by getting some help. So far we understand that it impacts how you feel, it impacts your physical body, it impacts your energetical body. Another impact it has in your physical body, your brain chemistry changes. So we think, since we have the ability to think, we can just keep using that. We can just keep using that machine. The more we use our brain, the more waste chemical it's creating. If we never stop or pause or calm down, brain is not getting time to drain those chemicals. Um, the easiest way to explain it. And then what end up happening, the brain chemistry, there's neurotransmitter, actual chemicals that take message from one neuron to the next neuron. That place is getting changed. If it's easier for you to understand, it's getting dirty because you're just using it so much and there's no time to clean it. So what end up happening? Your brain fog. A lot of people are like, I don't have any clarity, because the chemicals that are communicating are not what they are supposed to be. So take a person who's happy, who's joyous, full of life, their brain chemistry, and you can see it on a brain scan, and a person who's down and depressed. It could be the same person on 2 different days. You can see a huge difference. So we cannot just sit there and use our brain to think about all the what if case scenarios. That's not what our brain is created. Our brain is created to solve a problem that's in front of you. If this problem is not in front of you right now, leave it alone. Learn to leave it alone. Make it a habit to leave it alone. Instead of just sit there and analyze and think about the all worst case scenario and how you're going to act in each and one of them, you're using your life force. That is the life force that needs to be used to create the moment, the next moment, the way you want it to be. I just had a conversation with my little one yesterday. Um, we are doing a project at home right now, and he was asking all the what if case scenario, and I told him, just take out the what if from your life from today on. And he's only 8, and only look at life as this is what I want. How am I going to make it happen? Use all your energy, all your wonderful ability to think, to come up with the solution for what do you really want, and make an F. Just know this is what I want. One thing, this is what I want. Now let me get all the resources that I need to make it happen. This is how we are supposed to live as human, not with all these wonderful case scenarios and then losing our energy there. But unfortunately, this is something we are taught. This is something we are taught to, just in case, just to be safe, have a plan B. That is how we are taught. Illusion of safety. There's no safety. None of us is ever safe. We all can die anytime. That is the biggest safety you can look for. We don't know when we're going to die. Then how do you feel safe? Safety comes from within. Safety comes from that choice. So I know I just went on a tangent over here. Coming back to talking about depression, I just wanted to make a point. Overthinking is not doing anything for us. It's just draining your physical body and your energy body of all the resources that are supposed to be used to create your tomorrow, and not just focus on the what ifs. Okay, so where and how depression starts. So in one single line, depression is suppressed anger. People who feel depressed tend to suppress their anger. At some point in their life, they made a decision, I'm not going to allow myself to be angry. It could be either they saw somebody getting angry and it created a very unsafe situation, or they got angry themselves and they created chaos, and it's just like, oh my god, I can create so much harm. I'm not going to be angry from this point on. Anger is a very healthy emotion. We all experience it. We experience it for a very specific reason. It's healthy to be angry. Now how we channel that anger has to change. The anger needs to be channeled in a healthy way, not in an unhealthy way. If you're channeling your anger, giving yourself permission to be angry in a healthy way, you're not going to feel depressed. It's like, just experiment with it. I have experimented with it. I have seen changes. That's why I can share this with you guys. It is that easy to come out of depression. It's suppressed anger. It's not something big rocket science. We stopped expressing our anger. We stopped allowing ourselves to be angry for whatever reason, for people pleasing, for keeping the calm, for keeping safety, for just being the person who keeps the peace, for whatever reason, whatever identity we are so attached to, that protecting that identity was more important than expressing how we are feeling in that moment. So suppressed anger can result in depression and the traits that go with it. So if you're like, I don't even know if I, suppress my anger or not. So then when you don't defend yourself, and what do I mean by defending yourself? For example, somebody's mistreating you and you're just like, I'll just let it go. I'll be the bigger person. I won't say anything. So there's a very fine line between I would be the bigger person and not say anything versus that person is just doing it to you over and over and over. You can be the bigger person and not say anything, but at the same time, you can draw a line by just deleting that person out of your life or out of your day or walking away from that place instead of standing there and letting somebody treat you in a poor way. So I hope I make that clear that when we are trying to keep peace between families, it happens a lot between families and friends. And we are not defending ourselves like, hey, I didn't do that. Don't say I did that. Or I didn't mean it this way. Maybe you're talking and somebody just, understand whatever they want to understand. And you just let them understand whatever they want to understand because you're running away from conflict. In that moment, if you're willing to face the conflict from a very powerful place and say, hey, by the way, I didn't mean to say what you're understanding. I meant something completely different. That is also defending yourself. So it could be big, it could be small, it can happen between friends, it can even happen between you and your kids, your boss, your coworker, your clients, your spouse, your parents. It can happen anywhere. So pay attention to, do you just like hold yourself back and be like, you know what? It's just going to take a little bit of energy to have the conversation further. I'll just stay quiet and, the conversation will die here. So that kind of behavior gets you into depression over time. And when you're not standing up for yourself, so it comes in the same category. So let's say somebody is doing wrong to you and you go into martyrdom. You're like, you know what? I'll be the person who takes on everything. Now that is a lot of women and men as well, but more women. It's so much easier for us to do because this is something we are taught from like before we are even born. Keep the peace, keep the family together. You're the one who's responsible for keeping the family together. Man doesn't know how to keep the family together. You have to do it. It's your responsibility. Like we are fed all that from different resources. If it's not your parents who did that, it might be extended family. It might be the media, like your specific culture media that you're watching. It could be, the conversations on social media. It could be anywhere that you heard that and you made it part of your belief. Even if someone is mistreating me, I'll still stay there and I'll be the good girl. Like that conversation in your head can lead to depression over time. How do I know all that I have walked that path, my friends. I have struggled with depression. If you say, have you seen darkness, Alia? I have seen darkness. I have touched, gotten very close to killing myself, came back out, and become the person that you guys see today. All that happened because I suppressed my anger, didn't want it to defend myself, wanted to be the good girl, wanted to keep the peace, still healing those parts of me, still working on them every single day. But what it cost me my emotional well-being, and I did stay in depression for a very, very long time. For a very, very long time. It had been there for a very long time. And when things got worse in my life, it just got way worse in my life too. So that is when it got so bad that I was like, I need help and I need that help today. And I don't care how much it's going to cost. I don't care if my insurance is going to pay for it or not. When I went for therapy the very first time, not kidding you guys, the reason I'm sharing this because I want you to understand how important it is for you to get support. I sold a piece of jewelry just so I can have money so I can go for therapy. And I went into my therapist and I told her, I have $2,000. That's all the money I have. How many sessions can I have with you? That's how we started. Once the money ran out, I stopped. She offered pro bono, but the way the situation was, I knew, I understood this is a path that's not getting resolved in a day. This is something I have to take a journey. And I started preparing for that journey. And I took that journey and I walked the path. I invested as much money as I could in myself along the way, still doing it. Why did I do it? Because I did not want to live a depressed life for the rest of my life. I did not want to. I knew there is happiness and joy within me that wants to come out. Now, that is something only I could do for me. No one else can do that for me. And that is something only you can do for you. No one else in the world can do that for you. Only you can do it for yourself. Taking that decision to get help, only you can do it. I'm emphasizing on that a lot because so many women, they'd rather go and get a pill and be on the pill for the rest of their life. The pill is just going to balance your brain chemistry. Nothing wrong with pills. I have a biology background, but that is not how you want to live as the highest, most powerful creation that we know of. Till we meet aliens, we haven't really met them yet. You don't want to live with a pill. You want to figure out, oh my God, what started it? What did I do within me that caused that kind of reaction in my body? The problem is you have to learn taking responsibility. You cannot blame it anymore on, oh, because I had a very crazy husband, or, my parents were just like that, and I was always depressed, and now I am on pills. No, we can't do that. We all have our own personal responsibility to work on ourselves, to heal ourselves. Especially if you have a paycheck coming, if you have your own money, invest in yourself, heal yourself. Don't stay in that martyrdom, victim mode. Someone else is gonna come save me. No one is coming to save you. We have to stand up for ourselves. Really want that point to get across whoever needs to hear it today. So now let's get into easy steps that anyone can take right now today to start coming out of depression. So I'm going to share with you guys 3 things. The first thing is allow yourself to get angry. That energy that's within you, that anger, because somebody wronged you, it doesn't matter. It's your parent, it's your spouse, it's your coworker, it's your boss, it's a complete stranger, it's your own child, it's your sibling. Doesn't matter who that person is. I'm not saying go get angry. Now, how are we going to allow ourselves to get angry in a healthy way? First one is feel it. If you have been feeling depressed, this is what you are used to doing. As soon as you feel angry, you just try to hold it in. Just trying to suppress it. Your body's used to that response. Become aware, and in that moment, let yourself feel it instead of suppressing it or saying, I'm not gonna feel angry. I don't want the other person to feel the satisfaction. They got under my skin, they made me angry. Let your body feel it. In any emotion, whether it's anger, sadness, whatever it is, it's a wave. It's an energy wave that's moving through your body. If you feel it, deep breath, feel it, it will move out of your body. It will move out of your body. Now, what anger wants action. Usually what we do, we start hitting the other person, or we start to throw things at them. What we want to do, we want to channel it in a healthy way. Scream. Maybe go in your room, go into the bathroom, go into your car and scream. Let out that energy. If we look at toddlers, What they do, they get upset, they scream, they throw a tantrum, they cry. After 5 minutes, they're completely fine. That's exactly what I am suggesting all of us to do. Scream. If you can, beat up a pillow. If you're like, why couldn't I beat up this person? Beat the pillow. What I have my clients do, especially when we are working on something that happened in the childhood, maybe the person is not even in their life, we go in our inner world and beat that person up in the inner world. Like, eyes closed, imagine that person. Now just hit that person. Even though it's all imaginary, usually the response I get, but Alia, I cannot. That will hurt them. I can't hurt a person. Even though it's all imaginary, allow yourself to hurt somebody, something, even if it's a pillow. You can tell the pillow, hey, I love you. I need to get this anger out. I know you won't die, but if I get this anger out on a human, they might. Be in that communication with the pillow if you feel bad. Hit the pillow, go for a run, stomp your feet, do something physical so it does not get stuck in your physical body. Just give me a moment. Do some kind of action that it gets out of your system right away. So that is the physical aspect. We have to do the physical aspect. Okay, now the next thing is speaking up. A lot of people who stay depressed, they have kind of like a low voice, or it seems like their voice is not really coming out. I'll share a very cool fact with you guys. The more inner healing I am doing, the more my voice is changing. Like I can watch my own videos from 2 years ago versus now, the voice is changing. It's getting more light and there's more flow to it. So if you feel like something just feels stuck here, that means you don't allow yourself to speak. And most of the time, what it is, you want to keep the peace. You don't want to tell the other person, hey, this is what's going on, and this is what you're doing, and this is like, I don't want to be part of it. You have a hard time saying no. So another thing you have to do besides just letting the anger out physically, start allowing yourself to speak. You have to let yourself speak, whatever you're feeling. It feels very scary. It feels very unsafe when we are learning to give ourselves permission to speak, but you have to do it for yourself. Otherwise, that depression is not going anywhere. You can keep taking pills for the rest of your life. As soon as you stop taking them, it's right there. It's right there because we did not change within us. We have to start learning to stand up for yourself, accept yourself. Whatever I am saying has some kind of value. I want to say that. It's okay for me to say that. What is the worst thing that will happen? The other person will say, hey, whatever you're saying is funny, this or that, right? So what? It's their opinion. But at least you're allowing yourself to speak. Now, if you're in a situation where it's going to be physically unsafe if you spoke your truth, then I would say first get help. The kind of help you need. If you want to talk to me, reach out to me. I can help you come up with resources. Then instead of just going and just speaking what you want to say, well, from past experience that it can put you in actual real physical danger, not just imagined danger, then it's a place where you need to remove yourself from that space first. So get resources, remove yourself from that space, and then do the healing, speak up. Another thing is in that moment, if we do something where anger is not taking hold of us, you can move your body, If you're in that room, you can leave that room because you're removing yourself. You're doing something with your body beside, like, letting your anger out. You're doing something with your body. It's also going to help you feel in control, because depression also has that feeling to it. I am not in control. Like, I have no control. Someone else is controlling me. So moving your body in a way where you feel like you're in control. One of the pose that I'm going to suggest you is, like, Superman pose, where you just put your hands over here. Like, if you're feeling a little bit down, it also changes the physiology of your body. You can use it if you're feeling angry. You can use it if you're feeling anxious. You can use it if you're feeling depressed. Just put your hands over here, changing your physiology. It sends a message to your brain. Hey, you're in power. You're Superman. We all have seen that pose. So it's kind of like wired in our nervous system. I am powerful. Like, just putting your shoulders back, um, it sends a signal to your mind that, you're in power now, you're in charge. So that is something you can do. Another thing you can do is, like, put your hands up like this. That's a winner's pose. So your body feels, oh, we just want something. If we want something, there's no need to feel depressed right now. You are in control. So we want to give you a sense of, I am in control. I got this. That person is not in control, or that situation is not in control. Sometimes we could even, be getting angry at, government. You're not gonna meet government. Like, it's just an idea. It's just like, there's some representative, but it can make you feel so depressed and helpless. If you have, like, IRS issues going on and whatnot, and inflation, you're thinking about all those things, why the prices are going high. It can make feel people feel angry, and there's no channel for that anger. The next day they're gonna feel depressed about it, and they're gonna feel like everything is coming to an end. It's just a behavior we are used to. Doesn't matter who we are dealing with. So, three things that I shared with you. One, start allowing yourself to feel angry. Second, start speaking up for yourself no matter who you are talking to. I'm not talking about raising your voice and just start yelling, but just giving yourself permission to say what you want to say. And pay attention to how your throat feels. Do you feel like something is stuck here? That means you're not giving yourself permission to speak. And only you can give yourself permission to speak. No one else can do it for you. It feels very scary the first time. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. Right now, I'm teaching my son to go in the bagel shop and buy a bagel for himself. And he's like, no, I cannot do it. It's so scary. It's so unsafe. No, mommy, I cannot do it, because he has very hard time expressing that. If it does feel very unsafe, but once he's gonna do it slowly, it'll be like, oh, I can do that. So we all learned to walk. It was hard. It was so hard. You can also learn to express what you want to say. And the third thing is really taking care of your physiology in the moment when you're feeling it, so you can feel in control. So we want to release the anger, we want to express ourselves, and at the same time, we want to feel in control in a healthy way. And if you start just implementing these things in your life, you're going to experience, you're not having that strong feeling of depression lingering over your head all the time. And one of the easiest thing is, but when you're feeling depressed, it's not easy to exercise. When you're exercising, you get to feel all that. You feel like you're releasing something. You feel like you're doing what you want to do. You're in control. And also your brain chemistry changes in such a wonderful way. But if you're at a place where you can't even do that, take the suggestions that I shared with you. What I really want to end this conversation with: depression can feel very real. It can paralyze your life. It can really give you the feeling you're standing at the end. But that is just an illusion. that our brain creates, our mind creates it, it's not real. You can create a beautiful life, a beautiful, happy, fulfilling, harmonious, joyful life just by making the decision that that's what I'm going to do and taking the step to make that happen. So that is all for today. I hope this conversation helps you. Please share it with anyone you know who's struggling with depression. I'm sure it would help them in some way. If you need my help, and if you're watching in a place, let's say you're watching on YouTube and you're like, how do I find Alia? Just search Alia the Love Coach and you'll find me. Reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you find is easier for you. And we'll meet again next Thursday for another Love Circle. Sending you all lots of love. Bye.